In the last class, I was explaining you the preparation methods of aldehydes and ketones. So today also we will continue the same thing, and mostly today we will be completing the preparation methods, and today itself we will be starting the physical properties of aldehydes and ketones. So in today's class, the most important preparation method is the Stephen's reduction. Okay, so please put the heading Stephen's reduction. Clear? Now in Stephen's reduction, the basic principle is this one. SnCl2 will react with what? HCl. Clear? Then here hydrogen gas is liberated out. SnCl2 will react with HCl, and here hydrogen gas liberates out. I hope it is clear to everyone. Are you followed, everyone? Then what happened here? We have to take the cyanide, RC triple bonded N. This is called as what? Cyanide, or even we can say nitrile. Both are same. Cyanide or else nitrile. Clear? So what happened? This when treated with the hydrogen gas, which is liberated in the first step. So now see clearly, one hydrogen should be added to the carbon, one hydrogen should be added to the nitrogen, then break one pi bond. I think you know, in cyanide, between carbon nitrogen a triple bond is there, which contain one sigma 2 pi bonds. So pi bonds are weak bonds, break the pi bond. Clear? Then what happens? See clearly, after breaking, you will get this one, R, CH, double bonded NH. Hope it is clear. Okay, now what happened? This one, okay, when undergo acidic hydrolysis, clear? So this RCH is there now. RCH will combine with oxygen of water. RCH will combine with oxygen of water. Then here, what happened? Tell me. RCHO, aldehyde is formed. And what is the byproduct formed here? Ammonia. Is it clear? Aldehyde as well as ammonia is formed. So please copy quickly. Completed. But what happened in this method? One difficulty is there. Is it clear, everyone? So what is the difficulty? I will explain in the next slide. First of all, copy this one quickly. Completed. So now what is the difficulty that we are going to see here? So now here, let me explain the reaction once again, and here let me explain the difficulty also. So first of all, hydrogen is added to the cyanide, then we got this one RCH double bonded NH. Clear, everyone? So now what happened? This one, when undergo hydrolysis, I told you we will get the aldehyde. But one more chance is also there. This again may react with hydrogen, this one. I hope you are able to understand this one. So again, add one hydrogen to carbon, clear? One more hydrogen to the nitrogen and break one more pi bond. Okay, then what happened here? R, CH2, NH2. That means primary amine is formed here. Okay, and previously I told you aldehyde is formed here. Okay, remember everyone, primary amine which is formed here, that is major, and aldehyde which is formed here, that is minor. Aldehyde which is formed here, that is minor. I hope you are able to understand this one. Okay, why primary amine is major? Because in the formation of primary amine, pi bond is broken. In the formation of aldehyde, sigma bond is broken. Which bond breaking is easy? Pi bond only, na? Because pi bond is a weak bond. So in Stephen's reduction, what is the major product? See clearly. Major product is primary amine, but not aldehyde. Clear? Therefore, this is not the best method. Remember again, this is not the best method. This is not the best method to prepare aldehydes. To prepare aldehydes from cyanides. Clear? So this is not the best method to prepare aldehydes from cyanides. Stephen's reduction is not the best method to prepare aldehydes from cyanides because the major product is primary amine but not the aldehyde. I hope you are able to understand. Then what is the best method to prepare? Let us go to the next slide. Okay, now see clearly everyone now. So this is the cyanide. Cyanide is directly converted into aldehyde. Clear? By one reagent. This is the most important reagent. That reagent is called as the Dibol H. That reagent is said to be Dibol H. I will explain you what is Dibol H, everything here. Okay. With the help of Dibol H, cyanides are directly converted into aldehyde without forming primary amines. You see, in the Stephen's reduction, primary amines was formed, but with Dibol H, primary amines are not formed. So Dibol H is used to convert cyanides directly into aldehyde. Clear? Then what is this Dibol H? Here I am writing its complete name. Okay, di-isobutyl aluminum hydride. This is called as the Dibol H. Di-isobutyl aluminum hydride. Let us see its structure also now. Okay, so see clearly, everyone know. This is the Dibol H, di-isobutyl aluminum hydride. So please copy it quickly, everyone. I hope it is clear. Then what is the use of this Dibol H? Okay. Now remember everyone, Dibol H is used. We will take some examples also here. Dibol H is used, okay, to convert cyanides into aldehydes. Okay. At the same time, esters into aldehydes. Clear, everyone? So this is one of the important thing regarding the Dibol H. Dibol H is used to convert cyanides into aldehydes. At the same time, esters also can be reduced by Dibol H. Hope it is clear to everyone. Okay. Now in the next slide, let me take the examples also. So now, for example, here once you see the reaction now, CH3 CH double bonded CH CH2 CH2 CN cyanide. So this cyanide when undergo reduction with diball H, reduction with diball H. So what is the product formed then? See clearly, CH3 CH double bonded CH, then CH2 CH2 CHO. That means see clearly, only you see cyanide converted to aldehyde. But remember, diball H do not reduce double bond. Double bond came as it is, you see. Diball H do not reduce the double bond. Cyanide is easily converted to aldehyde. Clear? What about esters then? That also we are going to see here. So now CH3, okay, CH2, for example, let me take 4 times here. Okay, then here C double bonded O, OC2H5, this is an ester. So an ester when undergo reduction with diball H. Reduction with diball H. Is it clear? Then once you see here, let me write the product here. So CH3, CH2 taken 4 times, that we are going to write as it is. Then here see clearly CHO. That means what? So this C double bonded O, OC2H5 is there now. It will be converted into CHO. So this is the cyanide. This is the ester. So diball H is used to convert cyanides and esters into aldehydes. I hope it is clear, everyone. Okay. Now coming to the point of the next preparation method. Okay. So next preparation method is from methyl benzene. Okay. From methyl benzene. Put the heading. Okay. Now from methyl benzene. Remember from methyl benzene some 3-4 methods are there to prepare the which one aldehyde. So first of all see clearly everyone now. So this is the methyl benzene. Methyl benzene also called as what? Toluene. Clear everyone? Methyl benzene is also called as the toluene. So this toluene when treated with chromyl chloride, I hope you are copying this one. So what happened here? in presence of non-polar solvent, this reaction takes place, like carbon disulfide. Then here we will get one chromium complex. Okay, so here let me write CHO, CRO, HCl2 twice. Clear? This is called as what? Chromium complex. Okay, this chromium complex when undergo acidic hydrolysis, then here we get benzaldehyde. Please copy quickly. This is the first one from methyl benzene. Clear? Let us go for the second one. Same, using methyl benzene only. So again, the same thing we are going to see here also. So this methyl benzene, that means the toluene, when treated with the chromium trioxide plus CH3 CO taken twice O. What is the name of that one? Can you tell me? Okay, what is the name of this one? Acetic anhydride. Then here also we will get one complex. Okay, so see clearly what is the complex that we get here? CH, okay, O, CO, CH3 twice. Followed, remember everyone, this when undergo acidic hydrolysis, then again we will get here aldehyde. As I told you in the previous slide, what is the name of this aldehyde? This aldehyde is called as what? Benzaldehyde. Hope it is clear, everyone. Total some 3-4 methods are there. Clear? Once I want to go to previous slide. Okay, here I forget to mention one important thing. Remember the previous slide. Okay, this reaction is called as Itard's reaction. Itard's reaction, this one. So I forget to mention that one. Please mention this one. I hope you are able to understand it. Right? So this is second one from toluene only to get benzaldehyde. Now coming to the point of the third one. Okay, remember for third one we are having a special name. Okay, what is that one? By side chain halogenation. This is also from methyl benzene only, but we have to do the side chain halogenation here. Hope it is clear. Now see clearly everyone now, side chain halogenation. So here this is the toluene. So when toluene undergo halogenation in presence of sunlight, then here, once you see, now everyone know, here first of all we will get one intermediate compound. So what is the name of this intermediate compound? This intermediate compound is called as the benzol chloride. Clear? So this benzol chloride, when undergo hydrolysis in acidic medium, this benzol chloride when undergo hydrolysis in acidic medium. Clear? Then you see HCl is removed out. Okay. So when HCl is removed out, clear? Then see clearly here we get OH and OH. And yesterday I told you two OH groups on same carbon, highly unstable. Clear? So immediately what happened? Water molecule is eliminated out. Are you followed? So when the water molecule is eliminated out, then what happened here? We will get benzaldehyde. So please copy quickly. Hope it is clear, everyone. So in this way, three methods are there from toluene. One is Itard's reaction. Second one by using CrO3, chromium trioxide. Third one, side chain halogenation. Hope you are able to understand this one. Followed, everyone? Right. Let us go for the next preparation method. Okay. So next preparation method is called as the Gattermann-Koch reaction. Gattermann-Koch reaction. Clear? So what is this Gattermann-Koch? Now see clearly. In this one we will take only benzene, but not methyl benzene. Remember, everyone, only benzene we will take here. So this benzene, when treated with carbon monoxide and HCl in presence of anhydrous AlCl3, clear? Then here the product formed is the benzaldehyde, aromatic aldehyde. The product formed is the benzaldehyde. And remember, this reaction is said to be Gattermann-Koch reaction. Clear? Okay. Now coming to the point of the next one. Okay. So next one is from Grignard's reagent we are going to see. From Grignard's reagent. Clear? So see clearly how I am writing the reaction. So first of all, here we have to take the hydrogen cyanide. So this hydrogen cyanide, when treated with the Grignard's reagent, RMGX. So in Grignard, you know, R will carry negative charge, MgX will carry positive charge, pi bond will shift towards nitrogen. Nitrogen gets negative, carbon gets positive. Clear everyone? Now what happened here? This negatively charged R combines with this carbon. So what is the intermediate formed here? See clearly. So HCr, one pi bond is broken here, double bonded NMgX. Okay, and what happened? This will undergo hydrolysis. This will undergo hydrolysis. Clear everyone? So now what happened? Oxygen will be taken by this group. So as a result, what is the product formed here? Aldehyde. Am I right? What is the byproduct formed here? MgXNH2. So in this way, we will get the aldehyde. Remember everyone. So please copy quickly. Hello. నేను అక్కడ లేను, నేను తమిళనాడు షిఫ్ట్ అయినా. క్యాన్సిల్ కానీ నో ప్రాబ్లం. I hope it is clear to everyone. Then how to prepare the ketone then? How to prepare ketone in the similar way? Okay, now here I am taking the RCN, okay, alkyl cyanide, when treated with the Grignard reagent. So here R will carry negative charge, MgX will carry positive charge. So shift the pi bond towards nitrogen. Nitrogen gets negative, carbon gets positive. So R minus attacks on carbon. Clear? Then see clearly, RCr double bonded NMgX. Same like the previous case, this one. So now what happened here? Again, acidic hydrolysis. Clear? So RCr will take oxygen from here. Okay, same like the previous case. Then what happened? RCOR. So this is called as the ketone. Okay, then here the byproduct formed is same like the previous case, MgXNH2. So please copy quickly. Completed. This is from Grignard's reagent. Okay, now coming to the point of the last preparation method. Okay, so here let me put the heading, and this reaction is well known to you, Friedel-Crafts acylation. Friedel-Crafts acylation. This is very familiar, and I think in the previous lessons also we discussed about this reaction. So in Friedel-Crafts acylation, what happened here? Benzene. Okay, so benzene will react with acyl chloride in presence of anhydrous AlCl3. In presence of anhydrous AlCl3. Is it clear? Then here we will get C double bonded OR. Completed. Now let me take one example to explain you still clearly. So in place of R, if I take this one, CH3COCl in presence of this AlCl3. Okay, so now C double bonded O CH3. What is the name of this compound? Okay, so this compound is said to be acetophenone. Acetophenone is a ketone, remember everyone. Acetophenone is a ketone. Hope you are able to understand. Remember, by this preparation methods of aldehydes and ketones completed. Preparation methods of aldehydes and ketones completed by this one. Okay, then we are going to see the physical properties of aldehydes and ketones. Physical properties of aldehydes and ketones. Okay, so the first physical property that I am going to start is the physical states. Clear? Now, coming to the point of the physical states. Okay, now see clearly, everyone know here, according to the physical states, okay, methanol, HCHO, okay, methanol is a gas at room temperature. Remember everyone? Methanol is a gas at room temperature. I hope you are able to understand this one. Finished. Then coming to the point of the ethanol, CH3, CHO. Okay. So what about ethanol? Remember everyone, ethanol is a volatile liquid. Ethanol is a volatile liquid. Is it clear? And now remember, the remaining aldehydes and ketones are there now. Remaining aldehydes and ketones, okay, they are liquids or solids. I hope you are able to understand physical states. Right. Now, coming to the point of the next physical property, that is the boiling point. Okay. The next physical property is about the boiling point. Clear? So now, remember everyone, coming to the point of the boiling point. Okay. So see clearly here I am mentioning the boiling point of aldehydes and ketones. The boiling point of aldehydes and ketones. Boiling point of aldehydes and ketones. Ketones are higher than those of are higher than those of comparable molar mass, comparable molar mass of hydrocarbons and ethers. Clear? So remember everyone, the boiling point of aldehydes and ketones are higher than those of what? Comparable molar mass of what? Hydrocarbons and ethers. I hope you are able to understand that one. I think you are able to follow this one. This is the second physical property. Then what about the next physical property, that is the solubility? The next physical property is the solubility. Okay, so now see clearly, lower members of aldehydes and ketones, lower members of aldehydes and ketones are soluble in water due to what? Hydrogen bonding. Is it clear? So lower members are soluble in water because of hydrogen bonding. But what happened, as the length of the alkyl chain is increasing, as the length of the alkyl chain is increasing, then the ability to form hydrogen bonding decreases. As a result, solubility also decreases. I hope you are I think you are understanding this one. Okay, so here what happened, lower members are there now, lower members are soluble in water. I think it is clear to you. Okay, so these are the physical properties. First one is the physical state, second one is about the boiling point, and third one, okay, third one is which one? Solubility. Clear everyone? Right. Now let us start the chemical properties, and remember everyone, chemical properties in this lesson, very, very important one. Clear everyone? Chemical properties are the utmost important one. Completed. Now see clearly here everyone. Now here let me compare aldehydes and ketones with alkenes. Okay, so this is the alkene, C double bonded C, and this is the carbonyl. Is it clear everyone? Remember everyone, alkenes undergo electrophilic addition. Electrophilic addition, while carbonyl compounds undergo nucleophilic addition. So remember, carbonyl compounds undergo nucleophilic addition. Okay, and alkenes undergo electrophilic addition. I hope it is clear to everyone. So what is this nucleophilic addition that we have to see here? First copy this one clearly. Now, okay, so what is this nucleophilic addition that I want to show you? Okay, so now here double bond is present between carbon and oxygen, which is more electronegative oxygen. So pi bond will shift towards oxygen, then oxygen get the negative charge, carbon get the positive charge. Then what happen? Nucleophile will be added towards carbon. Nucleophile will be added towards carbon. That is the reason why this reaction is said to be nucleophilic addition reaction. Nucleophilic addition reaction. Nucleophilic addition reaction. Hope it is clear, everyone. Remember, everyone, aldehydes and ketones. Aldehydes and ketones undergo nucleophilic addition reactions. Clear? Aldehydes and ketones undergo nucleophilic addition reactions. Hope you are able to understand this one. Then what is this nucleophilic addition mechanism? How it proceeds? That we are going to see. Okay, so here let me put the heading general mechanism of nucleophilic addition. General mechanism of nucleophilic addition. Okay, now see clearly here. Let me explain the general mechanism. Try to understand the concept clearly here. So what happened now here? Let me take the RC double bonded OH aldehyde. You can take ketone also, no problem here. Aldehydes or ketones, anything you can take here. Followed. Now what happened here? See clearly. Now here, let me take the nucleophile. Okay, so pi bond will shift towards oxygen. Then carbon gets positive charge. On that positive charge, nucleophile will attack. And remember everyone, this is the RDS step of the reaction. Rate determining step of the reaction. Why it is RDS, that also we are going to see. Okay, now then what is the thing happening? See clearly. RC here, O minus here, nucleophile, and here H. I hope you are able to understand this one. Now, this carbon hybridization is what? sp2. 3 sigma bonds are there. And what is the bond angle? 120. Is it clear? Whereas here you see clearly now. Now, here, what is the hybridization of this carbon? sp3. And what is the bond angle? 109 degrees 28 minutes. Is it clear? So here, try to understand bond angle is 120. Here, bond angle is 109 degrees. Bond angle is decreasing, you see. Am I right? Bond angle is decreasing means atoms will be coming close to each other. Am I right? When atoms are coming close to each other, then repulsions what happen? Increases. Repulsions increases means stability what happen? Decreases. So this reaction is going from more stable state to less stable state. This reaction is going from more stable state to less stable state. Will it go slow or fast? More stable state to less stable state. Will it go slow or fast? Slow. Okay. And I think, slow step is the RDS step here. Hope you are able to understand this one. Clear? And I think you understood that why it is the RDS step. You understood now? This reaction is going from more stable state to less stable state. Followed? Mechanism is not completed till now. Now, in the previous slide, what we got, see clearly. In the previous slide, we got this one, R, C, O minus, okay. Then here, nucleophile, then here R. Am I right? Now, in the fast step, what happened now? Electrophile will come. In the fast step, electrophile will come. Clear? So, electrophile attacks on the O minus. Followed. Then what happened? R, C, NO. Okay, oxygen is bonded to the electrophile. Then here R. I hope you are able to understand this one. Completed. Then rate depends on what factors? For that we have to take the RDS reaction. So let me take the RDS reaction. I will do one thing. I will go to the next slide. Okay. Now see clearly here. What is the RDS step here? R, C, double bonded O, R. So in the RDS step, what happened? Nucleophile will attack in the RDS step. Okay. So pi bond will shift here. Then nucleophile attacks on this carbon in the RDS step. Followed everyone. Then here, what we will get here? R, C, O minus. Then here, nucleophile. Then R. This is the RDS step. Why I am writing RDS step means we have to know the rate. Rate depends on what factors we have to know here. Followed? Everyone? Now, here you see in the rate determining step, okay, both are participating. What are that both? One is the carbonyl. Carbonyl means what? Aldehyde or ketone, okay, and one is the nucleophile. Both are participating. Carbonyl as well as nucleophile. So carbonyl power 1, nucleophile power 1. If we add the powers, then what we will get? 2. So nucleophilic addition is second order reaction. Nucleophilic addition is second order reaction. Completed. Let us go for next slide to explain some things regarding the chemical properties only. So now here, let me take the aldehyde. Okay, I will do one thing to explain you clearly. Let me take one simple aldehyde so that things will become clear. So now tell me HC double bonded OH, methanol. So methanol is reacting with nucleophile. Now second case, I want to take this one. any other aldehyde with nucleophile. Clear? Now, third case, I want to take ketone. Is it clear? Everyone know? Now, what happened here? In the first case, when the pi bond is shifted towards oxygen, then nucleophile attacks here. Similarly, in second case also, when pi bond is shifted, then nucleophile attacks here. And third case also, when pi bond is shifted here, nucleophile attacks here. Followed? Now, can you tell me, out of these three cases, where nucleophile attacks easily? Here, three cases are there, you see. Out of these three, where nucleophile attacks easily means first one. Why? In first one, see, the crowding is less. Only two hydrogens are there, you see. Crowding is less. In case of second one alkyl group is there, you see, crowding is increased. In case of third one, you see, two alkyl groups are there, you see, crowding is very, very high. Is it clear? Therefore, now tell me, where nucleophile attacks easily means where crowding is less. Clear? So, what is the order of reactivity? First one, then second one, then third one. In first one, nucleophile attacks at a faster rate than second one, than third one. Are you followed, everyone? So now, can I come to a conclusion that nucleophilic addition, okay, is inversely proportional to crowding at C double bonded O. This is the most important one. Clear? Nucleophilic addition is inversely proportional to the crowding at C double bonded O. Followed? So now tell me, everyone know, here, if I take now HC double bonded OH, then after RC double bonded OH, then after RC double bonded OR. Out of these three, nucleophilic addition is easy in which case? First case, then second, then third. I think you know these two are aldehydes. This is a ketone. Therefore, aldehydes are more reactive than ketones. Remember, everyone? Aldehydes are more reactive than ketones towards nucleophilic addition. Clear, everyone? These two are what? Aldehydes. And this is what? Ketone. So, among aldehydes and ketones, remember, aldehydes are more reactive because aldehydes have less crowding. I hope you are able to understand this one. This is about the general mechanism only. It is not yet completed till now. Okay. Still some important things are there in this general mechanism that in tomorrow's class I will discuss with you. So now I will be showing you the slides. See clearly. This is the first slide. Is it clear? Second slide. Next, third slide. Next, fourth slide. Okay. Fifth slide. Sixth slide. Followed 7th slide. Eighth slide. Eighth slide, this one. Now the 9th one, this one. 10th slide. 11th slide. 12th slide. 13th slide. Now this is the 14th one. Fifteenth slide. Sixteenth slide. Seventeenth slide, and here I explain about the nucleophilic addition reactions. Very important one, this one. 18th one, this one. 19th one. 20th. 21st slide. And this is the 22nd slide. And in this one, some important things still left over that we will be seeing in the tomorrow's class. Hope you are able to understand this one. Okay, now.